Alright, we're back in the time loop for, well, both a disappointing but not surprising announcement and also the next race. Nurburg GP, well, anyone who tuned into University O should be more than familiar with this track. It's also one of my favorites in racing in general. Probably in my top 10 easily. Ironically, I'd say I'm not as much of a fan of the Nordschleife. I've won there 4 times in racing, but it still can be an uneasy experience to drive. Well, Sooo Fast would certainly like a comeback story after his abysmal time in the GT3 cars, when he showed up to race once and nearly wrecked several times. It wasn't a good look for him in that Audi, so he's using this Aston Martin now to try and resurge a little bit. Joining us, we have Buttercup, Silver, the Hedgehog. It's no use. Vert is again racing, and this is, I think, the second time Slingshot's showing up. And Dr. Eggman is here. Silver managed to figure out that he was here, so Silver will be probably trying to deal with him. Of course, we the viewers know that Eggman, along with Rumelia, are conspiring with Carbon and Paradox. Saklia is here representing our GT3 class. And we do have Gearhead and Burnout in the GT4 class. So a couple of awkward things. These two vehicles here, these two Ginettas. Yeah, as you could probably expect, when Danny crashed and died in the Laguna Seca race a few episodes ago, yeah, this car was his, this green one here. Ironically, 19, which was at one point my racing number. He's not driving that car. Obviously, he is deceased. You know, stealth water. And so as a result, Sparky and the Professor no longer race either. They've kind of, you know, like, respectfully left the racing behind. Obviously, they're still around because there's nowhere there's nowhere they can go. But they're not driving, I guess, either out of respect or out of fear. Probably both. But yeah, so this is neither of them. Obviously, the dead cannot drive, and the Professor's still mourning over the loss of his son. So, and of course, well, Sparky's car is not here. The old 176 BMW. That seemed louder than usual. So there's a lot of Aston Martins in this race. So Sooo Fast isn't so much proving himself against other drivers, like other characters, but he does seem to be proving himself against the other Aston Martin users like Buttercup and Eggman. There's like 5 in this race of the 8 GTE cars running. Also, because of the nature of some of the corners on this track, I will be having a hard time not locking up. You brake for some of these corners quite aggressively, normally. And that's, well, doing that efficiently is not something I've trained myself to do. And also not hooking curbs. Yeah, so at a couple of times in the series, GT3s have almost lapped GT4s in some races. Well, assuming that I don't crash... Also, oh my god, Sooo Fast is running away. Yeah, assuming I don't stuff it in a wall somewhere, I should be more than able to lap those GT4 race cars here. Especially on a track like this, which I do know pretty well. Not exactly down to a science, but... well, those Nordschleife wins, I did have to drive through this course to reach the Nordschleife. Because they use the combined circuit, the endurance circuit, 24-hour circuit. It has a lot of different names. That corner is going to be annoying, because you're braking downhill, and you also trail brake a slight amount. So I'm going to walk up there probably 8 times out of 10, and it's not going to be great. Right there too, downhill, right in between corners, so you have to hurry up and get onto the actual racing line before you start turning. How did I lock up there? I wasn't even steering. That was early. I was based it off of the speed I was running when I reached the, like, just before the braking zone, but I'd gotten a better run out of there than I did the last time, so I was, you know, going faster. Okay, I wanted second, but third worked. I'm not quite running away anymore. I think the AI have got past their lap 1 shakeups and have now begun to proceed as planned, meaning they go a little faster. In races where I start in the back of a group or back of the field, if it's a singular class race, I always do what I can to make up spots on the first lap because that's like the best time to do it. The AI are always very cautious, as one should be on lap 1. Which also is often why I get car damage on the first lap, as you saw with the Indianapolis versus GTE's race. They were cautious, I wasn't, because I was trying to beat the GTE cars, which would require a lot of aggression on its own. The stability of a car is easily measured by how stable it runs through those two. As it's a high-speed, very bumpy S section with curbs on either side. Those bumps unsettle the car a little bit. You'll be meeting the sand trap in seconds. And I raise the ride height in accordance. I keep braking early. As much as that didn't really look like it, that was early. Big fast. Almost into the 58s. Oh, big lockup. Almost into the grass. You know, with how terrible the Aston Martin drives in GT3, this one is actually pretty decent. It's not good at every track. I know if I try to use this as a Daytona road course, it would be a nightmare, but more flowing tracks that don't have such jarring direction changes, it's pretty smooth. Also definitely seems built for going the distance. Those engine temperatures are very low. And you floor it quite a bit on this track, so it's not like I'm exactly conserving the vehicle condition. No, I'm going floor it mode. And the engine temps are below 200, which I'm pretty sure once they go over 240 is the danger zone. Into the 58s with ease. My God, I am steaming through this event. Let me not say anything though. I know what happens when I open my mouth too much. What did I just say? What did I just say? And then I hit a curb, and you never do that in this game. I swear that wasn't intentional. This isn't scripted. It might look like I just did that for the punchline, but I legitimately did not try to hit that. As I hit then more curbs. Oh, who else but Vert has made up 2 places? And to remember where I'm better than the AI and capitalize on those locations. Also, if they decide to battle each other, that's all the more helpful to me, as long as Vert goes away. Okay, that was interesting. Maybe it does need to be at 63. I changed that when I looked into the setup, because I was like, it doesn't need to be that high to keep the car stable. Well, you never really know. Ah, more curbs. Bad. Soon the challenge of tire temperatures will be upon us. The track temp is already not very high as is. Okay then. Also surprised they don't have their lights on yet. Never mind, I just saw Vert turn his on as I say that. I didn't lock up there? Blasphemy. Gee whiz. That felt really not great. I've definitely caught back up since the last lap. The fact that the 55, I believe that is kind of messing with the Pirelli Aston up here is also very helpful to me. That's the thing, I don't know what the car wants to do through there yet. I haven't done it enough times to be sure, so I do go a little cautiously anyway. perfect exit for that. Yeah, tires. Quit yelling at me, I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. What the heck was that car? What the heck is that car? It's been nighttime for approximately 2 real-life minutes, and the car already feels drastically different, and I'm not sure I like that. Because traction control wouldn't do anything about it either, because it's not power-induced oversteer. That may look identical to Buttercup's car, but I don't think it is. Because hers has a green stripe, not a yellow one. That has given me the warning signs to be extra careful through these S's, though, so that's one thing, I guess. I don't need to be careful through here, though. I don't know why I was. Now you're going to get the full idea of why I'm not a big fan of these yellow headlights. Yeah, they make the location of the cars very obvious, but they're also very distracting when the color scale is completely different behind you. And you're crazy if you think I don't use this against other people online. Well, I've made very little total progress. It didn't help that when I was finally making progress, the car had a spasm moment and tried to end me, so I had to be careful of that into this sector again. Feels just so odd. "10 minutes to go." That was actually slightly risky through there. That car has thought about passing so many times, and it just doesn't. And honestly, if he ever does, that's exactly what I need to make an advantage, if he actually ever does try that. Okay, well, it's not really how you're supposed to do that, but... Oops. There's a nice bump there. It's also a big place where rain puddles will collect. As we learned from a very early episode of this series, when that had to deal with rain at this track. I say, if you don't do something about this guy, I'm going to do something about you. Yeah, you ain't Buttercup, although you drive like it. What the heck? Alrighty then, well. There goes that. There goes any chance of winning the race, I think. The car just, like, didn't appreciate me pressing L2 there at all. I guess now we'll see how Sooo Fast can drive in anger. Maybe Sooo Fast just is nothing without his normal hot rod. Or his KTM. So the car is more stable through there if I'm on the gas. I think it's more stable in general if I'm not off the gas. Blech! Too aggressive. We will have 3 laps left at the start of this one. The 55 is still very tentative, but still pressuring that 23, even though it doesn't mean anything to the AI if they're being pressured, because they're AI. Very much pushing the car to the limits. Unfortunately, the best passing zone other than the back straight is the one that I keep screwing up. Of course, I don't even get a run to this corner anyways, doesn't matter. There's another example of the AI's cheaty cornering. They were gaining speed uphill in a turn. That's just not something I am capable of doing. What the heck? Now the car is loose there. What happened to cause that now all of a sudden? 2 laps to go. The sun's beginning to come back up. Suddenly I'm back with the lead 2. No. Man, these guys are so chicken into this corner. Now watch 55 as you see somebody actually pass someone. GT4 traffic. This is either an opportunity or a death sentence. I'm not gonna have a chance in heck here though. No! Painfully ironic that the 19 that used to be Danny's car is in last. But that's helped me stay with this leader through this section. Alright, just survive one more lap and the unthinkable comeback will be here. Here is the professor's past vehicle. Also my current racing number, 71. Time is up. This is, well, I already knew it would be the final lap, but that confirms it. Oh, this is not the place for that. Look, we didn't really close in on him very fast. Not lapped the whole field, but we lapped a lot of it. Well, yeah, I think Sooo Fast has definitely sent a message here. A win like that, that's certainly against the odds. And of course, Sooo Fast hardly knows how to slow down. He's still going for a lap record on the cooldown lap. Unfortunately, the lap's not even being timed. This lap is actually quite fast. I don't know how you'd expect anything else from Sooo Fast, anyway. So this will do it for time loop. That's not where I am. Oh dear. Slingshot did not have the best of days. He was beaten by 2 GT3 cars. Oh no. And Gearhead started 5th in his, like 6th in his category, but he came up to 2nd. But there was no catching that BMW. BMW, which also happens to look an awful lot like Sonic and Bubbles' GTE BMWs, but being an M3, not an M6. That was indeed the only vehicle that ever got into the minute 58 lap times. Vert was like second last in his category. He passed both Buttercup and Silver to get to where he is. But he just could not deal with these lead Aston Martins, even amongst Sooo Fast's 2-3 mistakes. And, yeah, Burnout, well, he started last, so the fact that he didn't finish last, I guess, is an improvement.